come sta? Continua a dire sempre le stesse cose, con convinzione. Ci crede veramente? Indossa qualcosa di bianco o celeste? No. Lotito se la comanda. Lotito se la comanda.
Ricordate a tutti chi sono i campioni comunque,
Siamo noi, i campioni dell'Italia, siamo noi, siamo noi, siamo noi, i campioni dell'Italia, siamo noi.
Ci vediamo nei Super League, ragazzi.
Thank you so much, Giovanni, for coming into the show, for coming into my podcast. I'm gonna attempt to say your last name.
Ok.
Don't laugh at me. Giovanni Stramaci.
Okay, well done. Yes, it's correct.
correct?
It's correct. Yes.
Let me just tell you about Let's Nirvana
Yes.
before we get into anything. So Let's Nirvana basically is a podcast that I started for my mom. So my mom's name is Nirvana.
Okay.
And I wanted to start this podcast, interview people, have people on the as guests on the show to learn from their life experiences, and to also have their opinions shared with the world, because certain people, and I think also myself, sometimes we don't speak about things that maybe are hard or difficult for us to speak about. So I wanted to make it a platform where we can share and basically tell other people that, listen guys, life is short, let's just make use of it, let's be happy, let's smile. And that's why I wanted to have this this podcast to invite people over and to create something that, especially in the Middle East, not many people do it, and especially in Qatar. So to start, who is Giovanni? Who is Gio?
Well, Giovanni is a normal guy who is trying to get in, like, to insert himself in the cinema world, because it's always been my passion. It's always been my dream. And obviously I've got other passions as well, other hobbies, but this is my childhood dream, cinema, getting the chance to film my movies, because it's the only it's my method of communication, communicating my feelings, my emotions, my view of the world through a media, which is the cinema, right? So this is Giovanni. Obviously, Giovanni is also like other things, It's Giovanni is his friends, his family, the people that know him. So everything is Giovanni,
Actually, you mentioned quite a few things that are very touching to the heart, which is family, friends, which is, I think, is essential part of a person's life. But you also mentioned your passion, and I have actually seen it in also the early days when you used to be in Qatar, where you worked on a few things, and I think at that time I was still like not mature enough to realize what passion is, what working towards a goal is. So I did not really have that in me to actually start something. But I always looked at what you used to do, and I was like, wow, I love what Giovanni's doing, that he's actually taking something into his own hands and trying to follow his dreams, right? You said something about basically family and friends. So what do these two mean to you?
They mean almost everything to me. They helped me to grow up and to become the person I am right now. My family first, and then my friends, because I was talking with a friend about this the other day, and I told him, like some of the aspects that you like about me. I wasn't like this like 10 years ago. I was another person, but then I met people who changed me through the time I spent with them, you know, especially my closest friends. Wait, let me think about this, because I can't remember what I told him exactly, which is quite interesting.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, here in Italy, there is this mentality that tells you that if you are with a woman, then you need to dedicate almost all yourself to her, you know, um, not sacrificing, but putting like other things on a side, with, for example, friends or your job or your hobbies. Some years ago, I met a guy in Qatar, actually, who has a completely different mentality. Okay, and was like bros over holes. Okay,
Okay.
uh, so I spent a lot of time with him, and I've absorbed this mentality, and it became mine. It became mine, and now I live with it. I can't get rid of friends for a woman, or I can't get rid of my passion, for example, for a woman. So spending time with specific people um, help you to become like them, which is quite interesting. Same thing with family. Obviously, you reflect the mentality of your family. You reflect the environment, of your family, because you grew up with them. You grew up with your mom. You grew up with your dad. You grew up with your brother. So you slowly absorb specific aspects of each one of them, you know. So you basically become a result of the time you spent with each one of them, family and or friends.
I think you're right there actually, because from each person that you encounter, even if it's for a very short time, you learn something from that person. So imagine being, growing up with your family, you'll obviously take a part of each person that you lived with, and the same thing with your friends. I think the point with the basically devoting all your time, or putting her above your interests, I think it depends, because obviously you would, like, personally I wouldn't do that if it's a friend, or I wouldn't do that if it's just a girl that I'm going out with, and there's no interest to take anything forward. However,
Yes.
if it's for the future, and if it's your wife would automatically support you on these things, right? You don't have to sacrifice anything. You don't have to sacrifice your dreams. She will push you to do these things, and that's what we need, right? But yeah, I get that mentality actually, where hoes, bros before hoes. I think I used to say that a lot as well when I was a kid, especially growing up in Qatar, where it's all about dating and breaking up, and dating and breaking up. So it's like, oh, you ditched me for a girl, you ditched your bros for a girl, and that's where it came from. So It's
Absolutely.
it's interesting actually. I wanted to ask you about your childhood. So, what things that Giovanni right now took from his childhood that made him who you are, whether it's something that you learned from that made you a better person, or something that you still use until today. That can be from your family or even from friends, basically your childhood in general. And what things that maybe are a bit negative, but are still stuck to you today, and how do you actually overcome these things?
Yeah, so um, I would like to specify that I don't have a very good memory. Okay, so I tend to forget things that happened a long time ago. Okay, I have a good, very good short-term memory, but the long-term memory isn't that good, you know. But you know, my family is very small. Okay, in terms of number of people, because I mentioned my father, mentioned my mother, and I mentioned my brother.
Yeah.
Most of the times families in Italy are very big, you know, because they've got, you know, brothers of your mother, sisters of your father, your nephews, your cousins. You know, it tends to like expand as a family. My family has always been very small because there have been many arguments inside the family. So uh, you know, it some people like separated, and what before was a very big family, now it it's it's the family that I have, so it's very small.
Yeah.
And this obviously conditioned my present, because for example I'm not very attached to a, you know, like Christmas, for example. Okay, here in Italy we are used to spend our Christmas with all our relatives, right, together, all happy. I don't like Christmas for this reason, because I've always been with the same people, you know. And I remember when I was 2 years old, the family was much bigger. No, we were like 15, 18. Now we are very small. So we gradually separated from some people who were who represented a bad influence, you know, to my mom, to my father. So right now this made me not hate, but it made me not like particularly festivities like Easter, or obviously Christian festivities like Easter or Christmas, or other days that are special here in Italy. So yeah, this contributed to my present in this way. Now I've never been a person who you know, who can feel hate, you know, exactly for this reason, because I've experienced a lot of hate in my first years of life. So I think I've never said I hate someone in my life, because I just can't, you know. No, there might be like some people who you don't appreciate, okay, that much.
Yeah.
But I've never hated anyone, you know. I just can't. It's not in my DNA, okay. So I think this is because of my past, and it's because of the arguments that happened inside the family, that made us separate from specific people.
And I think that I remember even the first time I met you, and the following times after that, I like after I met you, I went to Cairo and I was like, wow, you know, I actually like Giovanni as a human being. I think his heart is very pure, and he does not he does not have a negative thought about anyone. He's always, you know, he's always smiling. He's always showing his happy, basically a happy atmosphere. Even if maybe sometimes he's not going through a good time, because we all have bad times in our life. And I think like you said, blocking out the negativity within the family, right? You mentioned that it was a big family and it became a small family. I think there's a beauty in that as well, because of course I don't know your circumstances and stuff, but I think the small family that you have, you know that this family is the loved ones, the ones that you got your back, the ones that are there for you. For example, I have a friend. His mother, basically he lived. It's him, his brother, and his mom and his dad. So his dad left. They didn't get divorced or anything, but he left and he traveled to a different country, and he stayed there for 5 6 years when my friend was like 4 or 5. So he grew up without a father, and he used to tell me about his journey and how he learned a lot from not having his father in like there present, and he took that to his advantage to be the man that he is today and take care of his mom and take care of his family. uh, and of course there was a lot of problems with financial and stuff like that, but there is a beauty in that as well. So I think that the hardships that we have, um, we learn from, and I think we strive to live by them. And I can give you a small example with me and my family, for example. And I see that in a lot of families where they fight because of money. And it happens out of nowhere. You find yourself as a child growing up in circumstances where your aunt and your uncles are fighting with your father or mother about a land that has been there with their names for the past 50 years. Right, but what about me as a person? You know, I want to grow up in good circumstances, and you find that money separates people, especially if it's a large amount of money. And I don't know, I feel like money right now in the world is negative. It has a negative impact on love, basically, especially in families. And I have seen that in my own family, and I am 25 right now, and I'm trying my best to like, guys, come on, money comes and goes. Like, who cares about a land? And I have always had this perception that I don't want to buy anything in Egypt just because of that. They influenced me in a way where I don't want to invest in Egypt. I don't want to buy anything in Egypt because of that. So I understand actually where you come from family issues. Of course, we all have different scenarios, and but it's touching actually. It's very touching to the heart, Gio. I'll ask you a last question about you, right? What keeps you going every day? So I want to know first, how happy are you from a scale of 1 to 10, and why? And what keeps you going every day? What's the motivation that you have? And what's the goal that you strive to? So where do you see Giovanni in 10 years from today?
You're asking me for a number
Yeah.
that can describe my happiness.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can give you one, because I have no idea of how happy I can be. Now I can tell you that I'm happy because I feel the right freedom of doing whatever I want to do. Okay, so I'm at one point of my life where the more things I do, the happier I am. Okay, for example, I'm now I'm about to start a oh my god, what's it called in English? Doppiaggio is like I think it's a French term. Doublage. So basically, from like an English movie, you make it an Italian one. What's it called? What's the process called? Um, it's like lip syncing with a different language.
Okay,
What's it called in English? I'm gonna tell you in a moment. Doppiaggio in inglese. It's dubbing. Yes, it's dubbing.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I think it's dubbing. So yeah, basically, I'm about to start a dubbing course. It's a 2 years course, which has nothing to do with what I'm planning to do for the future, because I like to keep the camera in my hands. I like to record stuff. Also editing. I like also the editing process of a movie, of a video, of anything else. So I'm also doing an editing course. So I'm at one point of my life where the more things I do, the happier I am. This makes me happy right now, because we are talking about all activities that I enjoy doing. So it prompts me to wake up every day with a smile on my face and to go on. Also because all these activities, they allow me to meet new people, to spend a lot of time with people who share my same interests. So no, this is all I ever aimed for. So this is what makes me happy right now. In general, and it's what brings me to be happy every day of my life.
I think two words caught my attention here, which is freedom in the beginning, and at the end where you said meet new people, right? So socializing. I think freedom is very, very difficult to find nowadays, especially growing up where you have, let's say, your family, your parents, they're the ones telling you what to do. And it's like, of course, it depends from family to family, but it's conservative, right? They pass on their values, they pass on their ethics, and they expect you to follow exactly what they want, whether it's your job, becoming a doctor, whatever it is. And that's why we as kids, we don't really go out and try new things, and basically being exposed to different things. And I think the second point about socializing, I think that's very, very important. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast, to socialize and talk to different people and learn from them. I think it's very important for us as human beings to do that. I don't think we do it enough, because even if you're working a 9 to 5 job, you're literally finishing your job, coming back home, and repeating it every day. So you're not really socializing. So yeah, I think we don't socialize a lot because of us going to a 9 to 5 job, us working, and basically finishing work, coming back, and then doing the same thing over and over again. So I think it's really important. These 2 points really is something that even on the podcast, and that's one of the reasons why I started this podcast, just to socialize with different people and learn from them. All right, let's move on to what you do actually, because I feel like your journey is very interesting, and there's a lot that we can learn from, because you went from I think from UK to Qatar to Italy.
From Italy to Qatar, and then from Qatar to UK, and UK Italy.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I did.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So take us through the journey and what has been going on, because it's a pretty long journey.
It's very complex because um, firstly, we as a family we moved to Qatar because of my father's job. He's an engineer, and he used to work in Qatar, so he basically brought the whole family with him, and I started studying there. I did 4 years of studies, and then I moved to UK because I got accepted in the Middlesex University of London for the film course. So because that's what I want to do. So I spent 3 years in London. I graduated in film in the year of COVID. So that's when I went back to Italy because of COVID, because of the pandemic. So I reached my family who were in Italy, and I decided to stay here in Rome for the next years. I've finished my studies here in Rome. I specialized in filmmaking. I did a 2 years course, and now I keep on studying. Like I said, editing. I will start dubbing right now, which are all aspects of the same industry. We can say that. So it all depended on my passion, which is cinema, That's what took me to UK the first time. That's what took me back to Italy for specializing, and that's why I decided to stay here right now. So it's a long journey, which firstly it was unpredictable because I was 14 years old. Obviously, like you said previously, you can't really decide for yourself. You depend on your family's decisions, and that's why I was in Qatar. And then when I turned 18, I could decide for myself what to do and how to do it. I moved to UK. I spent 3 years there, and then I moved back to Italy. So this is my journey. Is the summary of my journey, let's say.
So
Yes.
I know Giovanni right now is into short films, is into basically all the cinema, right? The cinema industry. But how did Gio get there? Like, where did your interest for cinematic industry and you actually creating films and having your own movies, let's say, start from? Where did it originate?
I have no idea. They always ask me this question, but I have no idea because
Okay.
I try to go back with my memories. And I remember a very young Giovanni watching films because my brother used to have like an enormous collection of DVDs of many famous films, many blockbusters. Yes, like Star Wars. I remember Star Wars was one of the first movies that I watched, or 007, so James Bond.
Yeah.
What else? The Lord of the Rings. Other other films like this. And I remember watching these films with my mother, who is very passionate about films. She's an architect, so she has nothing to do with films, but she used to watch them a lot. She still does. and my brother too. So I think I slowly I don't know, I got into this fantastic world, you know, this imaginary world of cinema, and I decided to shoot my personal movies, you know. So I bought well, I made my mom buy a camera, like a small camera, and I started shooting some random stuff with the help of my friends. So this thing obviously, how can I say this? It got, you know, it got
Started the journey.
yeah, it started the journey. My passion slowly increased. Like I said, I used to go to the cinema, to the theater often, um, and then I decided to start studying it. I was in Qatar. I was in Qatar because Compass International School, the school I was in, it gave me the opportunity to take as one of the 6 subjects of the IB program, a film course, which was connected to a New York school. I don't even remember the name of it. I think it was New York Academy, probably New York Academy. So they gave me the opportunity to take film as one of these subjects, and then I decided to do uni,
Yeah.
and obviously my passion increased even more, and I got really like fascinated by the way that these people communicate stuff through a camera, you know, through this media, inventing stories and portraying them on a screen, you know, which can be like a small screen, like this laptop one, or
Yeah.
a big screen like the one that you can find in cinemas. And it's really fascinating for me, and it's the best way that it's the best way through which I can communicate what I feel, and like the vision I have of the world.
I think I can relate a bit in terms of the influence that maybe your brother had in terms of all the discs that he had. It's a bit different in my case because I was born in a family of 5, and 4 of them are doctors. And my biggest brother is an engineer. So all of them are doctors except my biggest brother. He's an engineer and he loves electronics, right? He loves creating new applications on the phone and websites and all these things, basically web development and stuff. And since a young age, I used to be mostly with him, following what stuff he does. And I think that made me love creating videos and basically editing as well. Because I remember he's the one who took me to having software classes like Photoshop and Illustrator and stuff. But I cannot relate at all to having an influence uh, because mostly they wanted me to become a doctor. And as a young age, I did not want to. It was too much work, too much studying. So I was like, listen, I'm going to go into business. It's very easy. We'll pass 4 years and that's it. But yeah, there's a lot of influence that goes on with family, especially if it's the right guidance. I think it can affect someone's future. I want to take this podcast to another direction. So I think behind you on the chair, is that a Lazio scarf?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I know that you love football. I know that you love Lazio. the club where basically you supported ever since you were a child. I want to know if there's, and I know right now you also, I think you're doing something with Lazio's creators team, and fascinated to know about that as well. How did your love for football start? Is there a correlation with your family?
There is.
Yeah.
It's all about my family. Because it's my father and my brother. They slowly brought me to support Lazio, which obviously was a choice of mine. Okay, it was a choice.
I think if you supported any other team but Lazio, there was gonna be war in your house.
Very true. That's very true. But I wasn't like at the age of 11 or 12. I wasn't much of a fan of the sport of football. I used to play sometimes at school with my friends, but I wasn't much of a fan. You know, I never watched football matches at home on TV. But then I slowly became one because they took me to the stadium and I fell in love with the atmosphere. It was amazing. I remember one match that I think really influenced me 100%, which was the derby, the capital derby, Lazio-Roma. It was 2-1 for Lazio. It was a 93rd minute win, which was incredible, and I shouted so loud, and I think that match, it, how can I say that? I wanna use the right word. Wait. Wait. I wanna. Oh, okay. It actually, like, I think that match like forged me, you know, as a football fan and as an SS Lazio fan. From that moment, I almost never missed a single match at the stadium or on TV. I always followed Lazio when I lived in Qatar, when I lived in UK. I suffered a lot when, for example, I separated myself from my parents, especially from my father, because I was always used to watch the matches and support Lazio next to my father. So when we separated, when we went on like different roads, for example, when I went to UK, I really suffered this thing. Therefore, I decided to put like a camera in front of me and record myself watching Lazio matches, as if, you know, and I started like speaking to the camera as if there was like someone in front of me or someone next to me. So I recorded everything, and I decided to edit it in one video and put it on YouTube, and that's how that started, you know. That's how my YouTube channel started, so completely like randomly. It was like it started randomly, only because I wasn't used to watch Lazio matches on my own, you know.
Yeah.
That's why, because I suffered watching Lazio matches on my own. So like 2 hours ago, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I told him, you know, you can't imagine how much I suffer watching Lazio matches on my own, and you can see it from the YouTube videos that I upload. So that's how that thing started, and now I just love talking about Lazio on YouTube with other Lazio fans, and it's something that I like to do in my free time, and yeah, basically we can say that Lazio became a fundamental part of my life. Yeah. Yes.
I can relate to that because I'm not sure if you know, but I love Manchester United.
I remember.
Like, basically, it's part of my life, right? If I miss a match, there's something wrong. I never had someone to watch it with, so I don't know how that feels. Always because none of my family members actually are into football, but it's a fundamental part, like you mentioned. It's something that you can't miss a day without having an update from the Lazio team or watching the matches and seeing the transfers and everything. To the point where I wanna like be associated with Man United in a different way, like in the media, for example, like you're doing or something. I think it's very nice. It's one of my biggest dreams, you know, in the near future. So basically, these YouTube videos that you started doing on YouTube, they're the ones that connected you to YouTube creators, Lazio. Okay, and what do you do now? What is that like? What is the creators team all about?
I've been on YouTube for the past 6 years, and obviously my numbers increased. I don't know why, I don't know how, but they just did. I let's say that some people noticed me as a Lazio content creator, and they asked me to take part in this team that already existed before me. There was like SS Lazio, like a football team with SS Lazio's influencers, okay, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, everything, all social platforms. And so it already existed before me. I started to take part in it, and we became friends. We actually we became friends. We started to spend time together outside the football pitch. So we created a connection that went. It went. Also, oh wait, I forgot the terms. It's like it went beyond what we do on our channels. Okay. So we also we decided to make it like an official football team. Okay. We decided to make an official football team. So we created an Instagram page. We created like a YouTube channel for it. We created something more concrete. Okay. The creator of the competition also decided to organize an actual league, okay, with other teams, because in like 4 or 5 years ago only Lazio and Roma existed. So Roma creators and SS Lazio's creators. Now there is also Juventus, Inter, Milan, Napoli. So there are also other teams. So the thing expanded itself, okay. And it's something very, very big, because it has millions of views every time that like two of the teams play each other. So this is something very, very nice, something very unique. But the best thing that I take out from it is that I managed to I had the opportunity to meet new people, people that I am in touch with today, and people that are like part of my family. I can say that they're part of my family now, because we get along with each other very, very well. We are Lazio fans, obviously, so we have this passion in common, and this is fantastic. So basically, YouTube and the random idea of uploading that first live reaction on YouTube took me to meet fantastic people, and this is it was random.
That's how beautiful.
But yeah, it's actually beautiful. Yes.
That's how, like, something simple that you might not realize down the line will start a journey that you never expected, and you were just in that moment, you were doing something that you love, which is watching a football game for Lazio and recreating the moment where you're just recording yourself, and that's why I want to share to everyone, like, do whatever makes you happy and live in the moment and do whatever your heart feels, not necessarily thinking about what's going to come in the future, because if you do whatever your heart desires and if you kind of focus on what you want to do, I think things will come to you naturally, and that's what happened to you actually. But since you're a huge Lazio fan, you missed one point, and I need to know, first of all, are there fans like when you guys play?
Yes, there are.
So how do you feel when you wear that Lazio shirt with the Lazio crust on it and you just walk on that pitch? I know, of course, the feeling is different probably than the main stadium, but I just want to know how you feel like at that moment.
Let's say that it helps you to understand partially what the actual players, the real players, feel when they get in the stadium. And we experienced everything, because we experienced winning in front of 400 Napoli fans. We experienced winning in front of our fans and seeing their happiness. We experienced losing very badly in front of our fans. So at that point we realized what real players may feel when they lose a match that nobody expects. We lost 9-3. I would like to specify 9-3. It was really unacceptable. I can say that it was unacceptable. There is pressure.
There is pressure that comes. Yeah, it comes with
Absolutely.
playing for Napoli. And
yeah.
Imagine how the real players feel, you know.
Yes, absolutely. And we also we won the league last year in June, which was quite fantastic. But then this year, the first match, we lost it 9-3, and we didn't meet the expectations that we had and that our fans had. And like I said, it really helps us to understand what the real players may feel in every moment, when they win, when they lose, when they ask themselves why they played under the expectations, or how come they played over the expectations, what playing as a team really means, you know, how important it is that a connection is created between players, you know, a connection that goes beyond the, you know, the sport, beyond what happens on the field, and all these aspects, you know, that may be underestimated when someone watches the matches on TV. This is it was really helpful to understand certain dynamics, you know, which is quite good. Yes.
How are you in the league right now?
Well, we lost the first match, so we are last.
Okay, it's the first match of the season.
It's just the beginning.
I want to follow you. So on your Instagram, you put the scores and everything, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Also on especially on the page of the Lazio creators.
Perfect. Yeah. I would love to basically you know, see everything that you guys do and be up to date. And also I'm requesting a signed Giovanni shirt.
Okay.
I want the signed Giovanni.
The problem is that I only have one shirt.
I will
only have one.
I will send you a Lazio shirt.
Okay.
Just you send me your address. I'll send you a Lazio shirt. sign it and send it back to
Okay, that's okay. We can do this, yes.
Okay. Let me ask you two more questions to basically wrap up this episode. They're not questions. Actually, I want you to say something to the camera. So
Okay.
I want you to say basically a sentence to inspire the people, whoever is going to watch this, and basically tell them something that they can learn from.
So never get close to people who would limit yourself in every possible way. Someone who doesn't like your job, someone who doesn't like your passion, someone who doesn't like the dreams you have, someone who doesn't like your friends and or your family. Yeah, just try to get along with someone who appreciate you and your dreams and everything that's about you and your life.
Perfect. Give me, I think it's going to end, but I want you to give me a sentence in Italian to describe Let's Nirvana.
Ok. Let's Nirvana è un podcast che ti racconta la vita delle persone per affrontare meglio la tua.
What is the translation?
You want the translation? Okay. So it's a podcast that like tells you people's lives to help you approach yours, basically.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. I think that'll be it for today. I wanted to say honestly, thank you so much, Giovanni, for coming in and giving me your time. I have met you a few years ago in Qatar. We have met for the first time, and you became a friend, and you became someone that I care about. Although I think we lost touch for a few years. Everyone went their separate path. But we always had that connection, especially always through Kyra as well. Every time I see Kyra, I'm always asking how is Gio, and vice versa as well. So we always had that connection. I always valued you as someone important in my life. Thank you for being who you are. Continue like that. I wish you honestly the best of success in your filming career, your cinematic career, and to the project that you're going to start soon. I'm also excited about that. So yeah, good luck. Thank you so much again for your time. Honestly, I learned a lot in such a small period of time. And yeah, this will be the first of many. Hopefully next time I can get you on the podcast. We can have discuss about other topics like football and having debates and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, it was a pleasure. I really enjoyed participating, and let me know, keep me updated on everything, okay?
For sure, we'll always stay in touch.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Gio. Thank you so much, Gio. Hashtag Let's Nirvana, bro.
Okay.
Hashtag it.
Let's Nirvana.
Take care, man. Take care.
Bye, Mohammed.
Bye bye.